Who are you?
Whoever you want me to be.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
It's feeling epic.
3 words. 8 letters.
I remember everything.
Hello, hello. Grab your cozy sweater and your scarf. We're talking all about fall and Gilmore Girls today on this episode of Previously on Teen TV. I'm Jillian Benani.
And I'm Claire Wojciechowski.
I am very excited to talk all about fall and all about Gilmore Girls today.
I mean, they're sort of synonymous these days, aren't they?
They really are. I feel like every year Gilmore Girls has become more and more popular around the fall season.
I know. I feel like I see, memes and TikToks, and I got served a TikTok about how to have the perfect Connecticut fall day, just like you were in Gilmore Girls. And then I saved the video because maybe one day I'll rent a car and take a road trip. I don't know.
I mean, I would love that. Yeah. I need to get a pic by a gazebo stat.
2024. Let's put it on the calendar.
Yeah, we'll do a previously on road trip.
Sounds good.
But yes, I feel like fall is so Gilmore Girls. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just like they're both kind of like so cozy. Like fall is a very cozy season. Gilmore Girls is a very cozy, feel-good show.
Yeah, I think that's really the root of it. Is that like so many people watch Gilmore Girls when they need like a pick-me-up, when they want to feel comforted and secure. Right. And it's like, it's just such a pleasant watching experience. Yeah. That, it feels right when it's fall and the weather starts to change and it gets a little chilly. You just want to like bundle up in blankets and turn on your favorite show.
Do you think Gilmore Girls like made fall popular? Like, don't you feel like fall is just such a thing now? And like, I think Gilmore Girls did that.
I also think like they drink all the coffee, and like when it gets chilly, you just want like a warm beverage in your hand to like warm you up type thing.
I definitely agree with that. And I feel like also though, like fall is literally in the Gilmore Girls opening credits. Like we see fall foliage when Gilmore Girls pops up on the screen.
Mm-hmm, it does. And it's also, we know that it's fall because it's like orange tinted. Yeah. Like the whole title sequence has that sort of wash on it, that warm fall like orangey color.
Again, I think Gilmore Girls made fall.
I mean, you said it. Take credit for that.
Saying it here first.
Could it put fall on the map?
Yeah, Gilmore Girls put fall on the map.
It invented fall, actually.
But yeah, I feel like Stars Hollow, as a town, also really celebrated fall a lot.
Yeah, they sure did.
There were a lot of festivals, a lot of fall activities that took place in Stars Hollow. And I feel like, watching those episodes, you like wish that all those activities like took place in your town. You wanted to go to like the autumn festival, and there was just like there's so many episodes where like something fall is happening.
I know. And even like episodes where like it's not part of the plot, like they'll be walking through the town square and it's littered with pumpkins and scarecrows and like hay bales, and it just looks so pretty and like picturesque, and you're like, I just want to go there in autumn and frolic in the leaves.
They really put their production team to work when it was like the fall months in the show, because there is so many episodes where it's like two characters are walking by the gazebo and it is like, layered with pumpkins and leaves and, all this like fall stuff. And you're like, oh, it's fall time. Didn't even realize it until these characters were just walking on by. But I feel like that is something that like made the show special too, is like that attention to detail that they had. And just, making that town just seem so fun and cozy and sweet. And, you want to live there.
You do.
Bring me to Stars Hollow. Yeah. It doesn't exist. Like, do you think a town like that exists?
No. Yeah. But I want it to.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. And I want to visit a town like that in the fall and then leave as soon as the weather gets cold.
I know. Do you think that we'd be like a little bummed out? Because like the Stars Hollow's so like idealistic that like I really don't think it like exists like anywhere. It's kind of like a circle too.
Yes,
Like,
it's so small. They walk all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I get that it's small, but like, can you really walk everywhere?
I know.
Like from the neighborhoods where the house, like the residential part, to like the center part of town where all the businesses are? Like, is
No.
it?
That's the thing. I think that it's like that exists in cities.
Yeah.
Like that does not exist in these like small towns.
No, you got to get in your car or hop on your bicycle or whatever and get there.
I know, but I feel like that is like why Stars Hollow is like so great, because it is like they get to walk everywhere, kind of like it's like a big city, but it's this like small town feel that celebrates literally everything.
And like the townspeople enjoy that. Like they show up to all the town meetings.
Yeah.
Like I was watching one of these fall episodes that we're going to talk about briefly, and like, you know, Taylor calls an emergency meeting, and like a lot of people show up. And like, can you imagine like a real town where like the mayor's like, we have to have a meeting right now, and people are like, of course, I'll be there.
I'd be like, I'm watching my shows.
Right?
Like,
people have lives.
I can't make that. I gotta sit here and finish this episode.
To volunteer their time to fundraise, because they're always fundraising for something.
Oh yeah, there's always like a can drive going on.
I know. It's like the bridge. Apparently, it's like they're always raising money to fix the bridge.
The bridge
For years, they're trying to fix the bridge.
And then once they get the bridge, they need to like protect the bridge.
Yep.
Like that's
Exactly.
a whole thing too. I like that though. I like a thing that just like goes on throughout seasons in these shows.
Yeah.
Like especially when they go on for like 7 seasons. Like we need an underlying thing that we can follow along with and be like, well, I know that because I've watched every episode of this show and I know it more than you do.
And you know what? I will say that particular point feels very realistic to just bureaucracy in general. Like you're trying to get something fixed. You're trying to get like the road repaired or whatever. And it's like all this red tape and the fundraising, and it takes years and years when it's like, it really should be a simple fix. That maybe is the most realistic part, I think, of Gilmore Girls, is the time that it takes to fix the damn bridge.
That is a good point. Again, it's a very idealistic show. Not much realism, but that bridge was real.
That bridge.
The fact they couldn't get that bridge for so many years, that was the most realistic thing in Gilmore Girls. But you know what? I like that it's like idealistic and like really like not real. I feel like that's what gravitates people to rewatching it so much now, is like the world is such a shitty place right now, and everything is like just like up in flames, and the world is like so different that I think like the nostalgia of Gilmore Girls and just like the biggest problem being like the bridge or a town meeting, like nothing really goes that wrong like in this show. So I feel like that's why people gravitate towards it a lot now.
Absolutely. We don't get a ton of mentions of current events in the show. It sort of exists in its own like alternate universe type thing. Yeah. And nothing really intrudes on this little bubble of Stars Hollow in like in a fun way. It's like, it's escapist.
Yeah.
The whole show. And, you know, it just feels comforting.
Like, I feel like people are watching it now more than ever.
I think so too. They want to retreat into a world where like everyone is for the most part nice to each other. Yeah. And nothing horrible happens either to the people in the town or to the world outside the town.
I don't even think we get a car crash.
We do get one.
I know which one you're talking about, but it is not that big of a car crash.
It's barely a car crash.
We're referring to when Jess and Rory are in the car together, and Jess crashes the car and Rory gets a broken arm. All right, that is the devastation that goes on in Stars Hollow.
The way that the town reacts to this, it's as if he like ran her down with his car intentionally.
I know.
They're like, that boy, and she's like, he like swerved or something. Like, it's fine. It's a fender bender.
Well, on those circular streets, it's hard out there. That is literally the worst thing I think that like happens. I'm like, go over to One Tree Hill. All right, we get cars flipping over every season.
I know. People are getting shot. They're going into labor after getting hit by car. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, how else do you think like Gilmore Girls kind of compares to teen shows? Like, because I do think it's a little bit in a like vortex of its own, if that's the right word for it.
Like that. I think that it's not necessarily like, I always struggle with calling it a teen show because
I do too.
It's the show pretty equally balanced between Lorelai and Rory, between mother
Right.
and daughter. And so it's very much split between adults and teens.
Yeah.
And it focuses primarily, like the focus of the show is their relationship to each other.
Yeah.
And so I think it just in that way, it's like, it's like a family dramedy doesn't even feel right. I don't know. It's like a family show.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean because, we follow Rory and Lorelai and also Emily. Like, so we do follow like these 3 generations of women, instead of following like a teen cast that's all, friends and doing everything together. So I do struggle with calling it a teen show too. But I do feel like at least with this show, we do see Rory go through her high school years and her college years and kind of going through life. We get a lot of like the teen themes of, she goes to a dance. We see her with her first boyfriend. We see her dating like the rebel. We see her struggling in college. Like there is a lot of like the teen themes there. But I like that we like get a little bit more and get like Lorelai's story and, the mother-daughter dynamic. So I do think that this is just in a category of its own.
Agreed.
I mean, even just with like the way they talk.
Yeah, they talk so fast. And I feel like that's a complaint that a lot of people make. They're like, I just can't watch it. They talk so fast. It's so ridiculous. And I'm like, but that's like the point. Like you have to buy in. You have to choose to accept that these women drink a lot of coffee and they talk really fast and they have crazy references that they make. And you like it or you don't.
I know there is a lot of pop culture references. Should we try and talk fast on the podcast today?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if we'll be able to.
I literally don't think I could. I'm a slow talker, so I enunciate. But you still don't know what I'm saying.
Just put this on like or 1.5 speed if you want to hear what we sound like when we're talking fast.
Yeah, do that. That's a good idea. I do like though when a teen show like puts itself in a world that like doesn't really exist. Yeah. I like that in my shows. Like I like when it has a specific style and a like specific way of talking or a specific kind of like dress code, maybe that people aren't wearing those clothes today. Like I feel like we talked about that a little bit with like Sex Education or like Euphoria. Like these are shows that like, kind of like make a style of their own. Yeah. And I love it when a show does that.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. It's just like it's a fantasy in a way. I think we get that a little bit with Dawson's Creek because they're so like articulate and verbose,
right?
And the way that they speak, they don't talk like teenagers. And this one, like Rory doesn't really talk like a teenager either. It's just very quippy, but like not in like a mean or snarky way. It's like a really like fun, like off the wall, zany kind of way.
Right. I think that like that's what you should do. If you're creating a show, create a freaking world, okay? Like get me out of this world.
Take me to Stars Hollow.
Please, yes. Well, have you ever been to a town that's like similar to Stars Hollow?
I have, actually.
Oh, do tell me.
So this was when I was in college, actually technically interning in New York.
Ooh.
I had a friend who was from a small town in Connecticut.
Okay.
And so we did like a fall weekend at her family's house. It's Weathersfield, I believe it was called, but it was like in October.
Yeah.
All the leaves were changing. We went to like an apple orchard and like, bought pumpkins, and then we went home and like carved pumpkins and made cookies, and it was lovely.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It was like so like picturesque, and the leaves were all falling, and we like walked through like a cemetery, which was like slightly creepy Halloween vibes, but still kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that.
I feel like these like fall type of towns exist more on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Like we both grew up in the Midwest. Like I'm from Indiana, Claire's from Illinois. And I feel like like the apple picking, the pumpkin picking was like not as much of a thing in the Midwest.
We had those like places, but like it wasn't like everyone went there. Like it was more like a kid thing.
Yeah.
You went there like as small children, and it was like farms. You know, I'm from a very rural place, and so it's a lot of like farms and open fields, and so it wasn't quite the same like cute fall aesthetic, you know,
and like cute small town.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my parents just didn't bring me there. We weren't really like farm people, honestly. But yeah, I just like didn't really do anything like that. And then I feel like when I more moved to New York, everyone's like, oh, I'm getting out of the city for the weekend to go apple picking and to go
leaf peeping.
Yeah, go see those leaves.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's like more of an East Coast thing.
Yeah. I think similarly, like you said, it's like people who live in the cities and are like going for like the day to like escape and like get away from it. Like it feels kind of like you're, you know, doing like this fun activity that's like very innocent and pure and just like unencumbered by the stress of like adult life, city life type thing.
Unencumbered. Wow. Love that.
She went to college, folks.
She did. All right. Well, should we get into some of our favorite fall Gilmore Girls episodes?
Let's dive on in.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh my gosh, I was thinking about this, and I think ultimately my favorite one is probably They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They? Season. Is that...
That is also my favorite.
It's like a top tier episode.
I think it's like a top tier episode of like the entire show and not just like out of the fall
exactly.
episodes.
Yes, that's probably why I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Because we get the huge... Dean dumps Rory on the dance floor because she's flirting with Jess.
Well, yeah, give us a little synopsis of the episode.
Okay, so we're in early season 3. Rory has been dating Dean, but she's kissed Jess at the end of season 2, and now she leaves for the summer, comes back. He's got a girlfriend, but they're like in each other's faces and antagonizing each other because they like each other, but they're not together. There's this big dance marathon. Lorelai is determined to win. She wants to beat Kirk, and she has Rory as her dance partner. They're dancing all night, and then at the end of the dance marathon, Jess says something to Rory. They start fighting, and Dean's just yells at her in front of everyone, and he's like, everyone can see you. Everyone knows that you two like each other. I'm done. And he dumps her and walks away. And it's tough.
I will say I liked Dean in that moment.
Yes.
Because he stood up for himself. Like she was like kind of playing him at this point. Like she clearly, like Jess, had feelings for Jess. They clearly had this like banter back and forth and this thing for each other. It was so obvious. And when Dean finally just stood up for himself and was like, I'm done. Like I was like, go Dean. Like have some dignity, Dean.
Truly.
For the love of God. Like
I mean, it's like you're like finally like the one time you're like, I really like Dean. Earlier in the episode he does that too, where they're in the barn getting food, and she's pointedly clinging to Dean just because Jess is clinging to his girlfriend,
right?
And he like pushes her away, and he's like, stop that, let's go.
It was like, finally, dude, like you had to say something, Dean finally breaks up with Rory, which we'd been waiting for this for a long time. Like we've been waiting for this since the previous season,
right?
So they dragged this on for a bit, which I do love that too. I like to wait for my romances and for a good switcheroo there.
I mean, this is episode 7 of season 3.
Yeah.
And Jess is introduced like episode 2 of season 2 or something like that, and they have chemistry right away.
And you're like, whoa!
It's a full season.
The minute he shows up to town, Rory is like, going for Jess.
She's done for.
Yeah. So, I like that this episode is like a turning point for the entire series.
I also just think the costumes are fun because they dress like in the 1940s style, and it's beautiful.
I love it.
Fun costumes. Or swing dancing. It's great.
Yeah, I love the dance marathon. I love when there's like a town event that an episode is based around. And this one, the majority of the episode does take place at the dance marathon, which I think is fun. And we get to see a lot of the characters in this episode. Babette's in it, Miss Patty's in it, Sookie's in it. it. You know, a lot of times we don't see like all the characters together at like one event, maybe for like a town meeting or something like that. But like for the majority of the episode, we usually don't see all the characters together. So I really enjoyed that about this episode.
Yeah. Since I took yours, do you have a second?
Claire. Well, I will say I do think like season 3 is also my favorite season of Gilmore Girls. So there's a lot of good fall episodes in season 3. Okay, wait. One thing that we did not mention too about the They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They episode. Adam Brody's in it.
I was going to say it's big changes.
So, you know, we love that about it. And he is so cute in that episode.
It is.
It's so sweet. Oh, I love when he's in Gilmore Girls. It's so good.
Yeah, he like kind of makes a move.
I know.
As best he can.
He's like so sweet and is like working Lane's mom, and it's just like so cute.
It's adorable.
He was so good to her. I wish that he could have stuck around more. I mean, I know we needed him to go to the OC, but you know, I really liked Lane and Dave.
They were really cute. He was a good boyfriend to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So season 3 I think has a lot of good fall episodes, and as one of my favorite seasons, I think another great fall episode is a deep fried Korean Thanksgiving. I love a Thanksgiving episode on a TV show because I think it's a holiday that is like easy to do on TV. There's no like religion that's a part of it. We all celebrate Thanksgiving for the most part, and I think people celebrate Thanksgiving in a lot of different ways, and we see that in this episode. You know, we see them go to, how many is it, 4 different Thanksgivings?
It is.
Yeah, so they go to the Kims, they go to Luke's, they go to Sookie's, and they go to their parents.
Yes.
So we get to see a lot of like different types of Thanksgivings. We get to see them bop around town, eating all that food.
I know. Different kinds of food too. We get like tofurkey, and then the deep fried turkey, and then like very traditional with parents. And I forget what they eat with Luke and Jess, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see them in these different environments.
Yeah. We also, you know, get some of the love triangle a little bit with Dean, Rory, and Jess, which I also just always appreciate. So, that's a standout episode for me too.
Yeah, I think of that episode and I think of Sookie sitting at the picnic table outside while they're deep frying all this random stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like drunk and she's like, am I laughing or crying? And like, I feel like I've seen that meme a lot.
I love that.
And so
it's such a good line.
I think of that to myself all the time when I laugh. I'm like, am I laughing or crying? And I think of Sookie.
I'm going to start saying that to you now when I'm a little drunk.
Yeah. And I'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're going to be like, ooh.
Deep fry something else.
Yeah. Do you have another standout?
You know, I think the pilot is pretty fall-like. They sort of start off the pilot and it almost feels like winter because like they're like Lorelai's wearing a beanie and then Rory comes in and she goes, it's freezing, and she's like in a coat and shivering. And then like we get a lot of like really great fall looks from Rory in particular.
That white sweater.
That white sweater is amazing. And
Yeah.
Lorelai kind of like shames her for wearing it. She's like, oh, why are you wearing a muumuu? And it's like, why are you bullying your teenage daughter for wearing an oversized sweater?
That sweater also is like very in right now.
So cute.
Ahead of its time.
I will say Rory's looks in that episode are all very in because it's like before she goes to Chilton, so she's
Right.
dressing as herself. She also wears like, it's a red mock turtleneck short sleeve shirt with like a mini skirt and black tights and like black combat boots. I think they're like might be Docs. And I was like,
So
I would wear
cute.
that outfit.
Yeah.
And then she goes to Chilton and starts dressing really
Like Chilton.
Yeah. And then even like in her off time, she like is not wearing cute stuff. It's like really plain like jeans and basic tops. And I'm like, where's Rory's style?
I feel like they were like, for the first episode, we need to dress her cool and, you know, put her in like these looks. And then I feel like they were like, well, that's not really the character. She probably shouldn't dress well. But they really wanted to like go out with a bang for the pilot so that teenage girls were like, I want to dress like Rory.
Yeah.
They should have kept that going.
I know.
I think she could have had like some more style. Like I think that could have fit for the character.
Right. Because the thing about Rory is that like, even though she is like nerdy and super
Yeah.
into like academics and everything. She also has like Lorelai raised her, so she's into
Yeah.
like all sorts of TV shows and movies and music. Like she's
And
into
like
cool
pop culture. Like,
yeah, so like she would have like a sense of style beyond just like these basic clothing items.
I think she would be into like what's trendy.
Yeah.
Like that would fit her personality.
Right. Like not trying too hard, but like still current.
Yeah, definitely. Another episode that I think is very fall-like that we haven't brought up yet is Kiss and Tell in season 1.
Yes, so
very
good.
fall-esque. There's a whole autumn festival.
Yep.
Fall is like mentioned in the episode.
Yes.
We have such a cute storyline where Dean kisses Rory.
Adorable.
I love those little early like Dean and Rory eps. I don't like Dean. Like I'm not saying I like Dean, but like those early eps of them dating is like so sweet and cute.
It is very sweet.
Very innocent.
It is. It's like 7 episodes until he kisses her, and I was
I
like,
know.
couldn't be in this day and age.
I mean, he's in the pilot.
yes.
Like, so it is kind of shocking that it took that long
I
for
know.
that peck.
She's thinking about like not going to Chilton because she met a boy who like talked to her, and she's like, maybe I won't go to this fancy private school.
Okay, that's realistic, Claire. Okay, I might have done that.
I'm not saying
if
it's
a boy
not.
talked to me, I would drop everything.
Well, he better have a motorcycle. If you're gonna throw your life away, he better have a motorcycle.
I like that.
It's me quoting Lorelai. For those that didn't catch the reference.
I like that reference.
It's good. But the Kiss and Tell episode is great. Like you said, Autumn Festival. Taylor is hounding Luke about not having enough fall decorations.
Yeah.
It's a big plot point.
This is pure fall.
Yeah, everywhere. Like Rory and Lane are dressed as pilgrims at one point because they're, I think, working at the festival to, again, raise money for something.
I think it was a can drive.
Oh my God.
Well, this is why, though, I have a little bit of an issue, though, with the pilot being, like, so kind of fall-based. Because I'm like, we're still in fall 7 episodes
Yes.
later. Like, does that really add up?
Yeah, and she's also...
Not really.
she's already in school, like when she
Right.
transfers to Chilton. Like it's already cold enough for her to be wearing like a thick sweater.
Yeah.
And like, would they really like let her transfer to a new school? Like, I don't know, a couple weeks in. Like, why couldn't have this
Right.
happened in August?
I know. It's like something wasn't adding up there. But as we've learned, we can't look into timelines too much on these shows. But I just wouldn't put the pilot maybe on like a full list,
Fair enough.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another episode that I love that is very fall-esque is the big tailgating episode, the Harvard Yale game.
Yes.
I thought that was like a fun fall activity for the Gilmores.
Yes.
The only part that I really like about the episode is the tailgating part about it. I don't really need the other aspects. I don't need that date with Jason.
Oh, Digger Styles.
Yeah. But I love seeing the Gilmores all at Yale, all in their Yale sweatshirts.
Yes.
I mean, when Emily Gilmore comes out in that visor and Yale sweatshirt, that is classic. I love it so much. I love that they have this like big trailer to tailgate in. I mean, it's just like hilarious.
It's also so funny because like, you know, Lorelai and Rory are so not school spirit people.
Right.
Like they don't care about any of that. And they're different in the way that they approach school, but like they both share that like they think it's lame. They don't give a shit about, you know, team sports or anything like that.
Football. They hate football.
They hate football. So the fact that they're sort of being forced into this like college like tailgate like environment is just like, it's amazing. It's classic.
It's really the only time sports is referenced in this show
I know.
as well. Did you go to tailgates in college?
Not really. I didn't go to many football games in college.
Yeah.
I went to like 1 or 2, maybe. That I could.
Well, you're a Rory.
I'm a Rory. I also, to be fair, I wasn't at school my junior and senior year. Like I wasn't there in the fall semesters.
Yeah.
I was like studying elsewhere, so I only had 2 seasons worth of that.
She was abroad.
I was abroad.
Yes.
But I am a Rory. I was very much like, I'm here to study and get my degree and then leave.
Yeah.
And that is what I did.
Our football team got taken away at my college my freshman year. So there weren't,
Yikes.
I was like trying to make football a thing when we went to like one game because I was used to like the Big Ten
Midwest.
schools in the
Right.
Midwest and all that. So I was
Yeah.
like, we got to go tailgate. We got to go to the game. Like little did I know, like at my college, that was like not really a thing. And then they took the football team away, so it definitely wasn't a thing. But I'm like, where can I get a hot dog around here? Like, why are we all not like doing shots before this big game?
I feel like we should have like flipped schools just for that particular part of it, because like I did go to it. Technically, it was a Big Ten school, but
Right.
it's like the least Big Ten school of the Big Ten schools.
It's a studious school. You can say what it
Yes.
is, Claire. You can say the name. We won't get fined for that.
It won't be like, oh, I went to college in Cambridge, like one of those bullshit things.
I
And
love
you're
that,
like,
yeah.
oh, I went to Northwestern.
Yes.
Which is, they have a football team, but like it's not the best. Not a lot of tailgating, but
Yeah.
but I guess you went to like a city school too, kind of.
Yeah, Long Island school. I just feel like, sports kind of at those schools like aren't as much of a thing, which is like fine. Like I'm not like super sporty.
Yeah.
Really. I still don't know all the rules of football.
No, you just want to tailgate.
But yeah, I wanted a hot dog and I
Yeah.
wanted to drink in a parking lot.
Yeah.
That was it.
Fair enough. A simple request for a call.
Fall things, hot
Yeah.
dogs, drinking in a parking lot.
Yeah, you do need to like go through that rite of passage of like freezing your ass off at like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
That's just life, Well, I wanted these memories that were brought up on these shows. That's what I wanted.
Oh my God.
All right, so have we broken down our favorite fall-ups? Should we do some honorable mentions?
An honorable mention for me, and this is a bit of a off the board, but like the fall episode of A Year in the Life, which was the Netflix reboot.
Right.
Obviously 4 episodes of that reboot. Each one was a different season. The fall one is the last one, and I think everyone would agree the best one.
100%.
The first 3 are kind of boring, and then the fall one's like, oh, this is good. This is Gilmore Girls.
Like everything happens in the fall episode.
It all wraps up. And so that one I think is really good. It's like everything happens storyline wise, things reach their conclusions, and you do get some lovely fall scenery in that one as well.
Yeah, and I love that Luke and Lorelai get married in the fall. It just feels like fitting for the show.
Yes, it does.
Like it made sense that was the last episode for that, because fall is, as we are talking about it all on this episode, fall is Gilmore Girls.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought up The Year in the Life. I kind of sometimes like to forget about it, but not that episode.
No, that episode is good. Yeah. What about you? Do you have another honorable mention? I do also like But Not As Cute as Pushkin, but not for the fall reasons. I like it because of the Rory and Logan scenes, but that's a separate conversation.
No, there's some good Rory and Logan scenes in that one for sure. And that counts. It's
okay. It's in the fall.
It's in the fall. There's not maybe as many as fall. The production design team might have been busy that week.
Yeah.
There's not as many fall decorations, but that's okay. It's still,
Thank you.
It's a fall episode. I do think though in season 5 there is some good like fall episodes, and then I feel like after that it kind of trails off a little bit.
Yeah, season 6 gets kind of bogged down in the like Rory drama of it
Yeah.
all, and so it's less fun.
Yeah.
And then season 7 is just a weird time.
I don't even think they celebrated fall in season 7.
They just pretended that it didn't.
They
exist.
took fall away, and how dare they?
Well, once Amy Sherman Palladino left, she took fall with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was sad. Okay. But yeah, a lot of great fall episodes in Gilmore Girls. I would recommend people to go back and watch some of these episodes. Like they work on their own. Like you don't really need to watch like every single episode in a row on Gilmore Girls,
right?
Which is kind of nice. So I would recommend this fall, wrap yourself up in a blanket, watch some of these episodes again, because they are just like so fun to rewatch, honestly. And if you can't go to one of these small towns, just watch one of these episodes, honestly.
Yes, just pretend that you're there.
Yeah.
So, Jillian.
Yes.
I have put together a little quiz about some of these fall episodes of Gilmore Girls. I have no idea if it's easy or hard or somewhere in between, but I'm excited to hear your fall Gilmore Girls knowledge.
I'm excited. I'm slightly scared.
I think you're going to do great.
I feel like you can be a tough quizzer, so we'll see.
I try not to make it too granular.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So, in the pilot,
Okay.
what CD did Lorelai take from Rory?
Shoot,
It's in the first scene.
I know. I should know this. I don't know, so I'm just gonna guess.
Okay.
I should know what this is. This is gonna kill me.
Do you want like an alternate question?
No,
Okay.
no alternates.
Okay.
I feel like it's like a girl group or something.
It is a female artist.
Yeah, I know it's a female artist. I'm just gonna go with Alanis Morissette.
Good guess.
Okay.
It is Macy Gray.
Macy Gray. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2.
Oh wait, already, not doing great so far. We'll see how
Okay.
this goes. 0 for 1.
In Kiss and Tell,
Okay.
what item does Rory shoplift from Dosey's Market after Dean kisses her?
I believe it's sugar.
I think it's cornstarch.
Cornstarch. It's in a yellow box.
It is in a yellow box. We're going to give you that. It's a yellow box.
I knew
What
it
does
was
she
a yellow
say?
box.
He kisses her and then,
She says thank you.
yes, and then she runs away with the box in hand.
Right. I remember the running with the yellow box.
Yes.
Like, that's iconic.
And she walks into the Kim's Antiques and goes, I got kissed and I shoplifted.
Amazing.
Yes. Okay. They shoot Gilmores, don't they?
Okay.
How many hours into the dance marathon are we when Kirk ultimately wins for the 5th year in a row?
I think is it 23 hours?
It is.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
They are in the final hour. It's like
Right.
23 hours and like 12 minutes in or something based
Wow.
off of the clock on the wall.
Amazing. Wow, that was a specific one too. Luckily, I know that episode.
Yeah, that's a top
Yeah.
tier, as we said. In Let the Games Begin, which I don't think we mentioned, it's the episode following that. When
Right.
they go,
Season 3.
Yes. What type of reunion is Richard attending at Yale?
Oh, is it a Whiff and Poops reunion?
It is a Whiff and Poops
Wow.
reunion.
Oh my
Nice.
God. Well, I know the Jess episodes pretty well.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. There's a theme here.
Yes. I was going to ask you how many Thanksgivings they attend, but you already got that.
It's 4.
It is
yeah.
4. In the Festival of Living Art.
Oh, I don't love this episode.
I don't. Okay.
Just a throwaway comment. Sorry.
That's fine. Lorelai reprises her performance as the blank girl. She's like, "Oh, I was this girl."
Right.
And now I'm and then she almost doesn't get cast as her, and then she pouts, and they let her do it.
Is it like the painting girl?
It's the Renoir girl. Is the name of the artist.
Would not have gotten that.
Okay.
Wow, that was the painting girl. I went real broad on that one.
Final question.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Okay, season 6. 21 is the loneliest number.
Okay.
What was the plan that Lorelai and Rory had for her 21st birthday?
Shit. Okay.
It's kind of detailed, but like
Yeah.
as much as you can give me.
I have not watched this episode in a minute because I hate the episodes where Rory and Lorelai
I
are
know,
like not together.
I
Like,
know.
this is a sad episode.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so this is gonna be a guess.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like, oh, were they gonna go to Vegas?
Atlantic City.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but you're on the right track.
Same thing,
Yes.
the Vegas of the East Coast, Atlantic City. So go to Atlantic City. I feel like they were gonna like play roulette or like bet on something.
Yes.
It was
Think of she's turning.
21, so
Right.
they were gonna like put red on 21 or something.
They were going to be sitting at a blackjack table at midnight, so they were playing 21 when she turns 21.
I should have been thinking blackjack. I went roulette. That's
Fair
because
enough. No, but
that's my game.
That's also
that's
a number.
my game.
Yeah. They were also going to order a certain type of drink.
Were they gonna order Cosmos?
No, I was going to say the drink. What do you always order?
Was it martinis?
It's martinis.
Oh, even better. Wow, I'm such a Gilmore.
You are. And then they were also, if they won, they were going to take the winnings and buy 21 things and then maybe do
right.
something with 21 guys.
Oh.
But they don't specify what that is.
I like that. That
I
sounds
think
like a trip.
Lorelai just says there was something about 21 guys, but it's not appropriate anymore because we're engaged. And then Rory says the same thing when describing it to Logan. She's like, it's not appropriate because we're in a relationship.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wow. What a birthday trip, Claire. Are you gonna bring me to do that for your birthday?
Yeah, for my 34th birthday.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Maybe we can do it when you turn 41.
Okay.
Years and years from
All right,
now.
we're holding you to that.
Okay.
Yeah, bring me to do that for my 41st birthday.
We should redo our 21st birthday since I don't think we were all friends at that point.
Well, then we got to do 41 things with guys.
Oh
so
my
that's
God,
that's a
that
lot.
sounds
Is it
exhausting.
41 things or 41 guys?
I think it's 21 guys is what they say on the show.
Yikes.
Which again, 3 is more than enough for
Well,
me.
who
I'm
knows where I'll be at
exhausted.
41, honestly. That's just might be where I'm at. Who knows? Well, how did I do? I could have done better, but it wasn't too bad.
I think like 2.5 out of 5. I would say
2.5 out of 5 was not super great, but I got all the Jess episodes.
you did.
one right.
Those
so
two, you
that's
got
what
them,
matters.
and you got the Thanksgiving one already.
Yeah.
So technically 3.
Okay.
3.5.
We'll
yeah.
give me 3 out of 5. That's
Yeah.
not, what, a C? Rory would be disappointed in me.
Listen, 7.
Lorelai would be happy with that.
Oh yes, Lorelai would be thrilled. So proud.
I'm more of a Lorelai than a Rory. Well, that was fun. Good trivia, Claire.
Thank you.
Just spilled some of my mimosa.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having fun here talking Gilmores. That kind of made me want a martini a little bit after that, too.
Oh wow, are we switching it up?
All right, so why don't we do some kind of like quick questions? Or wait, no, what are we calling
Quick, I think I said quick thoughts, but quick questions is fine.
Yeah.
Like,
we can't call it rapid fire because we
like
go
to talk.
on and on and on about it. So we've decided we cannot call it rapid fire.
No.
So we're going to call it quick. What did we say we're going to call it again?
quick thoughts.
Quick thoughts. So here are some quick thoughts on Gilmore Girls. So what would you order at Luke's Diner?
You know, I think I'd go classic at a diner, just like a cheeseburger and fries. And then I would randomly also get the coffee because I feel like you got to drink Luke's coffee.
Definitely need the coffee.
Yeah.
I would also get the burger and fries because I feel like that's mainly what they order there. And it looks really good, honestly.
It does.
Like, I mean, looks great. So
Yeah. Maybe grab like a pastry from the little case, the glass case on the counter, something
I
like a
always
donut.
wonder, how long have those been sitting in there?
You know, I like to tell myself that he gets them fresh from Weston's every morning.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, Luke's not baking
but
those.
no, it's a diner, not a bakery for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Okay, what job would you have in Stars Hollow?
Okay, so I've thought about this. I think I would definitely own a bookshop.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I would love to be the bookshop owner of Stars Hollow. And then maybe at night, I transform it into like a movie club type of thing where we
Ooh.
show movies once in a while as well. Like there's a back room where I have some chairs set up and like a big screen.
Yeah.
We have candy.
Oh,
you know.
fun.
Yeah, very Stars Hollow.
Would you like compete with the existing businesses or would you like take them over? Like how?
I think I would compete with them because I think I could do a better job.
I like that answer.
Yeah. So
Andrew's getting old to that bookshop.
yeah. I'm sorry, Andrew. It's time for a
Yeah.
female owner.
Yes. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I think could see you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. What about you?
I would take over Miss Patty's dance studio.
Oh, of course. That's perfect for you.
Thank you. I did sort of assistant teach dance before, and I really enjoyed it. And I think Miss Patty, God love her, is a little disorganized, and I
Yeah.
would get things a little bit more regimented.
You
a little more
would whip
structured.
those young girls into shape.
Yeah, you know,
Not a kick out of
out of place.
Yeah, not a
Yes.
kick out of place. How busy do you think it is in the Dragonfly Inn?
You know, I think that they have they're booked solid during like the high seasons.
Yes.
So like maybe like the summer months they're booked when people are out of school or on
Yeah.
vacation. I think leaf peeping season in the fall.
Yes.
They're booked pretty well in like September, October maybe. I think it might be a little dead in the winter
Oh,
except
yeah.
around the holidays.
Winter's dead, I
Yeah.
bet you.
Yeah, 'cause, like-
January, February ain't doing well at the Dragonfly Inn.
If you're going, like, I feel like if you're going to go somewhere on the East Coast in the winter, you're going to go, like, where you can ski. You're going
Yeah.
to Vermont or something like that. You're not going to, like, a small town in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I think it ebbs and flows, but they're not, like, raking in the dollars, but they...
Well, according to the show, they are booked and busy all the time at the
Okay.
Dragonfly.
It's got, like, 8 rooms.
I know.
Like, how much are you charging?
I would like to know that.
Yeah.
Like, how much is dinner there? Like, if I'm getting a
yeah.
meal made by Sookie, like, how much do you think it is?
I don't like overpriced.
Yes,
For this-
100%.
for the town. Like
Yeah.
I think her food is probably worth the price, but
Yeah.
like not in that environment.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to dinner there, I'm spending over $100.
Probably, yeah, all in.
Yeah. Well, I gotta order some apps. So.
Yeah, you want.
I want the full experience.
You know, it's got like some like artisanal shit on that menu, like some
Oh,
local
yeah.
cheeses and all sorts of, and like handmade pasta and I don't know,
There's
pheasant or something
there's
like that.
some truffle on the menu for
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is something that's fun of Gilmore Girls, that it's all like independently owned businesses and restaurants
Yeah.
and shops.
Yeah.
But what do you think would be the first chain to hit Stars Hollow?
I feel like it's gonna be like something like snuck in at like a gas station on the town border or something like that.
Oh, fun.
Like I feel like it's like a Shell gas station,
Yeah.
just on the town limits, but technically in the town. And it's like a Dunkin' Donuts because it's East Coast.
I was definitely also going to
It's
say
gotta
Dunkin'
be a Dunkin',
Donuts.
like-
I was like, that would be the first chain to get in there.
Yeah, because like they're not gonna like go for a McDonald's. They're gonna be like, no, that's too much. But like a Dunkin', they're like, I don't know, coffee and donuts, like
Yeah.
And then it just spirals from there.
Well, and Luke would hate it.
Luke
That
would
would
be
be a
so
fun
mad.
storyline. They should have brought that in for an episode.
No, I literally wrote in my notes, Luke would be mad.
Yeah. I could also see them getting a Chipotle. Like, I could see the people of the town really being like, we gotta get a Chipotle, please. Like, I know we don't do
Yes.
chains, but
We
let's
need-
make an exception for Chipotle.
So you know that has to pass. I'm sure some zoning boards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we have Taylor Dosey as our town selectman. Would you vote for Taylor?
I'd probably vote for Taylor just in the sense that he wants it so bad.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't do a bad job.
Right.
So I think that I'd just be like, this gives this man so much happiness.
Right. It's his
like,
purpose in life.
Exactly. So I would vote for him for that.
Right. And we do see that episode when it's Jackson,
Right,
runs
yeah.
against him and wins, and Taylor is so dejected, so disheartened. It's so sad.
It's really sad. Yeah.
And then Jackson finds out how much work it actually is, and you're like, well, yeah, that's why Taylor's the only one that's run for years.
So I think he did a good job. You know who I think would make a good mayor like later on? Like if Taylor's not doing it anymore. I think Dean would have made a good mayor.
Oh yeah, Dean would have.
Like young pretty boy who like grew up there.
Yeah.
Like I just think like even just for the looks of it, he would make like a
Yeah.
good mayor. People would vote for him.
He's family oriented. He's a hard worker.
Yeah. So I kind of wish I would have incorporated that a little bit, but
know.
maybe if they ever bring it back again, I want to see Dean as mayor.
It could be like Taylor's handing him the reins because he works for him
Exactly.
at Dosey's and they have this existing
Yeah, it
relationship.
makes complete
that's-
sense.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. We needed to give him a better ending.
I know. He just kind of disappears. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, like he gets dumped by Rory again and then
I
just like
know.
goes away without never to be heard of until the reboot.
Right.
So, like,
Well, he got supernatural, but
yeah, I know. But like,
yeah.
but when he does leave, it's
I
just
know.
like so abrupt.
I know. And I will say it's kind of sad because he looked really good in those like
He did.
later episodes.
Those later
like,
eps, he looks
The
good.
season 5 early eps and like season 4, like he is looking real good.
He looks like a man and not a boy anymore.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that bone structure is popping through.
Right.
Like I was like, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
So you just wanted a happier ending for a man that looks that good.
Yes. Well, he gets married with kids later on. We
Yeah,
know that, but
blah,
but
blah,
we wanted
blah.
to see
Very
it. We
Dean.
wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more question for you.
Okay, fun.
Of the fall activities that we see depicted in the fall episodes,
Yeah.
which one would you prefer to partake in? Would you like a list or do you want to do it off the top of your head?
List me some of the activities.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got mention of a Renaissance fair. I
Okay.
believe this is in relation to Luke's sister Liz.
Right. Yeah.
The Bracebridge dinner,
Okay.
which like technically is fall, but it's snowing, I think.
Okay.
The dance marathon, of course. The knit-a-thon in season 7.
Oh yeah.
Again, to raise money for the bridge.
Okay.
There's a teen hayride in the pilot that Lane is forced to attend.
Oh, so church thing.
I think it's just like the town. It's the town thing, but like her mom makes her go on like a date with like a nice
right.
Korean boy.
Okay.
A cider parade,
Okay.
football game / tailgate, or the Festival of Living Pictures.
Definitely would not do Festival of Living Pictures.
Right.
That's low on my end.
You've made that-
I know.
that
I've made
clear.
that quite clear. I like don't really know why, but it just
It's
is.
very like you're just watching people pose.
I think that's why
Yeah.
I was like, do Autumn Festival again or something. I think the cider parade sounds really fun. So I think I would do that. I feel like it's bringing in some of the best things of fall. It's outside. Love a parade, especially if I can like have a nice warm cup of cider. I think that sounds fun.
Yeah. I think a cider parade sounds delightful.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we don't have more of those in this country.
I know. Well, we got to get involved in our local neighborhood
Yeah.
and say, let's do all these fall activities.
You know, in the spirit of keeping it local, I believe that there is like a Renaissance weekend up in my neighborhood every year.
Oh, wow. Should we go?
I think so. I think it's at the Cloisters usually.
Oh, that's fun.
And so I would say Renaissance Fair.
Oh,
Why not?
I could see you being a Ren Fair girly.
You know, I don't know that I would go religiously.
Yeah.
But I think like for like a weekend, it'd be fun to like walk around. I'd buy like a flower crown and, you know, eat a turkey leg. It'd be just like a fun little afternoon activity.
That sounds fun. We can do that, Claire.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Again, put it on the calendar for 2024.
I love it. I would also do like a dance marathon. I did one in high school, but
really?
I would not have lasted that long. The dance marathon I did was 6 hours.
That's still plenty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I went to go pee, I think I sat there for maybe 10 minutes because I was like, I just need to rest for a minute. It's a lot of standing.
Yeah, I would dress up in the 40s attire and I would dance. Like I would do like a fun themed dance for like an evening, but the 24-hour marathon could
24 is too much.
And you see like a lot of those women are in heels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you insane?
Ridiculous. Yeah. But fun to look at.
Yeah, for sure. Would
Yeah.
love to sit on the bleachers.
But yeah, I mean, we love a fall activity. I would really do any of those. To wrap up, should we do our little rants?
Let's do it.
Okay, dear listeners, we are going to incorporate something a little new in our episodes. It's going to be called the As If Rant. So this is where we rant about something of the show that we're talking about for about 30 seconds, and we have to say as if in it, just like the movie Clueless, which is, I think, the greatest teen movie of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Claire would not agree with that. She says okay. She doesn't agree.
I love Clueless. It's not my favorite, but I do love it.
What's your favorite?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, well, okay. We'll take that answer as
thank you.
well. So, producer Jesse, please put 30 seconds on the clock.
All right. Ready? Set. Go.
Lorelai wearing heels in the dance marathon episode, as if. I mean, that was actually insane. You are standing up having to dance for 24 hours and you chose to wear heels. How was she functioning? Why were her feet not tired? The heel broke. That doesn't make any sense. Put her in a cute 20 shoe. You could have found a flat one. It just made absolutely no sense in this episode, and I hated that.
Perfect.
Wow. I agree.
Thank you.
The vintage heel choice was astounding.
It was just bizarre. Like, it bothers me the entire episode.
Yeah, it's so strange. And then were you satisfied, though, when it breaks? Were you like, I knew it? Or...
I still think, though, that it wasn't addressed on how crazy it was that she was wearing heels. Like, I needed a character
Yes.
to be like, why did you wear heels?
Yeah. If you were trying to beat Kirk, that ain't the way to do it.
Exactly. Like, she wanted to win this so bad, I think she would have worn a sneaker.
Yeah.
Like, girl, you're already putting yourself, like,
Yeah.
you know, at a disadvantage in heels.
Rory's in like some loafers. Like we see her,
Yeah.
she's in flat shoes. Like
Yeah.
why isn't Lorelai in flat shoes too?
Makes me so mad.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right, Claire, you're up.
Okay.
Ready? Set. Go.
This one is for the producers of Gilmore Girls. Why did we never get a Halloween episode? Lorelai and Rory clearly have demonstrated that they love to dress up. They love a theme. They love to put on a costume. Again, with the heels, she went for period appropriate heels. Why couldn't we have had a fun Halloween event? Miss Patty throws a dance at the barn. Kids are trick-or-treating. Like, it would have been, you know, all the candy that they get to eat. Oh my God.
I hear ya.
You know, a haunted hayride, make things a little spooky. Would have been a cute opportunity for them to hang up.
As if.
Yeah, give us an as if, Claire.
Oh, how do I work that in?
No, just say
Why
it.
did as if?
Perfect.
No Halloween episode, as if.
I mean, I completely agree.
Put that at the top.
No, we're gonna add it in just like that.
Just add me floundering
That's
for the
what we're
last
gonna
10
do.
seconds.
I like
Please
that.
do.
Wow, you are so right. I mean, I cannot believe they never did a Halloween episode. The fact that we never see those two dressed up in like a couple's costume is ridiculous.
I know.
They definitely would have done that. They would have thrown a Halloween party.
Right? Like Rory throws Logan's farewell party is a full-on themed, like,
Right.
Quentin Tarantino party.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't get a Halloween?
Ridiculous.
You know, so silly.
You know,
As if. Come on.
We need to reboot this again just
Yes.
for Halloween. All right. Well, we have talked all about fall and Gilmore Girls and why we love fall and Gilmore Girls, and that Gilmore Girls is for fall, and that Gilmore Girls invented fall. I think we've done it all.
Yes, we've covered our bases. We've wrapped our little, sweater-clad arms around it, and I am ready to get back and watch some of these episodes again with, like, a steaming cup of cider.
I mean, that sounds great. And I
Yeah.
think I might pour myself a cup of coffee right now.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and please tune in next week.
You can follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to rate and review us. And you can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at previously on _teen TV.
Thanks for listening.